Danful offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshi traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danful, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danful, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danful, Africa. To learn more, visit danful.africa.
At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Peace, family. We are live. Oh, so I did it again. Hold on, y'all. Let me get it together. Let me get my equipment together. Okay, there we go. We are live. Shout out to Fitzgerald Stevens, who's in the chat room. Shout out to my brother, Fitzgerald Stevens, who's in the chat room, who's Bammer, Alabama. That's what we call them around here. Alabama Crimson Tide are going to get smoked on Saturday, right here in Atlanta at the Dome. I stay right around the corner from the Dome. I stay right down the street from the Georgia Dome, the Mercedes-Benz Dome, and Fitzgerald's team, the Bammer Crimson Tide, are going to drive their little Chinese buses that they rent. Okay. Going to drive them down to Atlanta and get that butt spanked. That's what's going to happen. Fitzgerald Stevens, find ways to win. Guys, make sure you subscribe to his page. Again, make sure you subscribe to his page. But again, his Bammer Crimson Tide are going to come from Tuscaloosa, whatever you call it, on a Chinese buses, all right, and get their butts whooped by the Georgia Bulldogs on Saturday. I called it here on Search for Uhuru, okay? Put that on record, sign, deliver, whatever you want to say. That's what's going to happen. And he knows it. He knows it deep inside. He knows it. Fitzgerald knows it. About to get beat up on. About to get whooped. Shoot. Anyways, let me get back on topic. Y'all, welcome to Search for Uhuru. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, everyone. Got a couple of announcements before we get started. We just got back from Namibia in South Africa. We had a great time. We had a great time in Namibia and South Africa. And we are rolling to Sierra Leone in a couple of weeks. Again, we are rolling to Sierra Leone in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to that. But we are also rolling to Cape Town end of March 25th through April 2nd for the Cape Town International Jazz Festival. And also, too, there are a lot of hikeable trails in Cape Town. Cape Town's a beautiful city. And I want to apologize because, I have not been the nicest when it's come to my commentary on South Africa. But I fell in love with Cape Town. I've been to Cape Town before, but this second time going, I love Cape Town. So we're going back in March for the Cape Town Jazz Festival. If you guys don't know, I like to do festivals. I try to focus on festivals whenever we travel. So visit donfo.africa, and you see Darius right here. This is Darius. This was Darius' third time traveling with me. He came to Senegal with me to the Senegal Jazz Festival in St. Louis. Then he came to Zanzibar with me. Then he came to Namibia and South Africa with me. So yeah, if you want to be like Darius and be cool, part of the cool club, the Donfo Nomadic Club, visit donfo.africa. Again, we are traveling. We're going to Cape Town, March 25th through April 2nd for the Jazz Festival. Oh man, here we go. I'm not starting with you, Fitzgerald. No, I gotta do my show. Fitzgerald. Listen, all that matters is what happens on Saturday. Okay. That's all that matters, what happens on Saturday. I'm not starting with you. I'm not fooling with you, Fitzgerald. Getting me distracted. Well, if you want to be cool like Darius, visit Donfo, that's DANFO.Africa to learn more. Love to have you. We're also going to Senegal in May 9th through the 18th for another jazz festival. Then we're rolling to Nigeria in August. That's August 9th through the 18th. That's for the Oshun Festival. Then we're going back to Zanzibar in September, and I'm thinking about adding Mombasa to that Zanzibar trip. And then in November, we're doing Accra and Abidjan. So it's a 2-for-1. We're going to do Ivory Coast and we're going to be doing Ivory Coast and Ghana. That's going to be in November. So if you're interested in joining, please visit donfo.africa. Again, please visit donfo.africa to learn more. But yeah, we had a great time in Cape Town and Namibia. But I love Cape Town. Cape Town's a beautiful city. I have to give my respect, and I have to apologize to South Africa for, some of the rhetoric that was spewed on this channel in regards to South Africa. But, going back to South Africa, going back to Cape Town. Cape Town is an absolutely beautiful city with a beautiful skyline. Now, just like with a lot of countries, I don't really agree with everything that's done in South Africa, especially since I'm Nigerian, the way sometimes Nigerians are treated in South Africa. But needless to say, it's still a beautiful. Cape Town is an absolutely gorgeous city, and you have to visit Cape Town. So, we could be critical. But at the same time, we can, what did Dave Chappelle say? You could disagree with someone, but still be compassionate about them. So I could disagree and not agree with the way some things are handled in South Africa, but I can still show love for South Africa and love for Cape Town. I love Cape Town, man. I'm excited about going back in March. We're going to take about 8 people. We're just going to take about 7 or 8 people. And we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time in South Africa. So please visit donfo.africa, and you could be cool like Darius. This is from this is last week, actually. So last week we were in Cape Town. That's Darius at Clifton Beach. And so, Clifton Beach is a vibe. It's like Cape Town. It's a nice. What Elvis say? Those are beautiful countries, but their infrastructure is built by whites and maintained by whites. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. And so, we talked about this yesterday. Why can't West African countries, black countries, have the same infrastructure like the so-called white countries? I mean, that's a good question. And without blaming the colonizer, without blaming the economic hitmen in 2025, without making a bunch of excuses and being unaccountable and showing a lack of accountability, you said those are beautiful countries, but the infrastructure is built by whites and maintained by whites. So why can't we have blackity black infrastructure? Can someone answer that question? Like, can we start? We got to start having these uncomfortable conversations. Why can't we in Nigeria have 24-hour electricity and just good roads? Man, Namibia has the best roads in Africa. Not one pothole. Not one in Namibia. Why can't we do the same in West Africa? Why? Oh man, we got money. Elvis, stop it. Elvis, stop it. We got money. We got money. We got money. Stop with the global white. The white man is not Thanos, Elvis. We got to stop blaming the white man for everything and just start being accountable. We got the money. We got the resources. Is we have an issue with corruption. That's what that is. We have an issue with corruption. Stop it, Elvis. That's what it is. But let's jump into today's topic. Is FBA the CIA? I'm going to start off with 2011. 2011 was the first time I went to Africa. All right. I was not heavily, but I was involved with the conscious community. And this is back when the conscious community was more wearing Africa, go back to Africa. And then at this time, I was a liberal. I just voted for Obama in 08. And I remember when I told my liberal Democratic black friends and my friends in the conscious community, hey, I'm going to Africa. I wish I would have screenshotted and documented the responses. Again, I wish I would have documented the responses. You would have thought that these responses were coming from white supremacists. No way these responses were coming from educated black folks, but they were. And that's why I coined the term. You have to stop using 1950s and 1960s and 1970s stereotypes, 1980s stereotypes to justify not going to Africa in 2025. I mean, the responses, a lot of them, and I'm going to say the majority of them, were just so ignorant. Like sometimes I just have to look at the phone and be like, you can't be serious. Speed up to 2016. Donald Trump gets elected. Donald Trump makes the shithole country's argument. And of course, there's a lot of fake outrage. Oh, he's racist. He's a white supremacist. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you agree with him. The same thing he was saying, you guys were saying when I told you I was going to Africa in 2011. You agree with him. Then around 2000, I think that was 2018 or 2017 when Black Panther came out. Here comes it started off with ADOS with Yvette Carnell. And her rhetoric, her ideology is nothing new. And let me give this disclaimer. I don't want to feed into this African versus African American so-called beef, or you have this online beef that people blow up out of proportion, this African versus African American beef. Like, I don't want to feed into it, but me being Black American, a lot of our people was coming out of the mouths of Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell. A lot of folks agree that they've been saying that for years. It's just this is the first time where Yvette Carnell, they have taken these attitudes and formed like an organization around it. Foundational Black Americans, America's descendants of slavery. But this rhetoric is nothing new. It's nothing new at all. So that's why, when people say is FBA, CIA, yeah, of course, in every organization, there's a couple plants. It's just, it is what it is. But folks have been saying this stuff for years. It's nothing new. It's just Yvette and Tariq have been able to somewhat centralize it, if that makes sense. Now, there are probably trolls on the internet, running around, causing division. Absolutely. The whole tether hairline and tether this, tether that. Black folks, we're silly and we like to joke. So does that necessarily make it FBA or CIA infiltrated because people are saying the word tether or saying all that? We like to joke around. We like to joke. We like to clown. There you go. You can say it's a money grab, more on Tariq's side. I don't know what grassroots movements are they undermining. Let me put the link in the chat room, and you guys are more than welcome to call in. But what grassroots movements is FBA actually undermining? And I'm not defending them at all, but I'm just saying what are they? What are they actually undermining? What's Tariq and what throw Yvette in there? What are they undermining? You said grassroots. Like, what grassroots? I don't think they're undermining Pan-Africanism. There's ever since the beginning of Pan-Africanism, there's always been opposition. There's always been people who disagree. But links in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the conversation, you're more than welcome to click on a link and add the conversation. Again, guys, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. And what we'll do while we wait for people to call in, we'll take a quick commercial break.
Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshi traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo, Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
Go ahead, Dre. You got to unmute yourself.
Oh, can you hear me?
Hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
All right. Hold on just a second. So in terms of me thinking that FBA is the CIA, I mean, I do agree that it's some agent type behavior because I feel like FBA is pretty much designed to undermine ADOS. I think it's also designed to undermine other grassroots movements that are actually doing the real work out there, especially the political work out there. Now, I know a lot of Pan-Africanists, probably would agree with Professor Small, but I feel like in terms of other movements like reparationist movements, I think that he's definitely trying to undermine or trying to do something that, trying to do something to basically get the bag off of.
Okay. Shout out to Fitzgerald Stevens. And guys, Fitzgerald Stevens was in full support of my first trip to Africa. In fact, Fitzgerald was the one that suggested I take a vacation. Fitzgerald, I think you're doing voice to text. Yeah, I think you're doing voice to text, Fitzgerald. Oh, but you did go to Alabama, Fitzgerald. So I don't know. You did go to Alabama. But thank you for the 499 holla. Thank you for 499 holla. All right, go ahead, Dre. Dre, you there? Guys, links to the channel. If you want to call in after the conversation, you're more than welcome to click on a link and call in and add to the convo. But shout out to my brother Fitzgerald Stevens, who's Alabama, not Bama, Bammer Tide are going to lose to my Georgia Bulldogs on Saturday. All right, go ahead, Dre.
All right. So I would say, as far as like FBA, right? I mean, he even trademarked FBA. I mean, that's a clear one of the signs that can pretty much explain how he's operating. He's treating this like an enterprise. He's not treating it like a lineage. He claims that FBA is a lineage, but it's really just his way to funnel money into his pockets. You see that, and of course, a lot of people say, "Why are you pocket watching?" No, I think what it is that we have a problem with accountability when it comes to these movements, whether they're online or offline. And I think that what's happening is that these groups are, I mean, a lot of the followers who, who follow FBA are people who are associated with FBA tend to not hold him accountable for specific things that are very questionable. I mean, this dude literally started out, writing MacBooks and all of these things, but he's just using the same tactics he's always been using, but pivoting to different things to get it back. He even admitted that that he could have gotten a big bag or a huge bag from a white network or certain white networks to denigrate Africans. See, I think what it is when it comes to these type of things, I think that people think that just because we're practicing precision in terms of specificity, that we have to somehow hate Africans or hate Caribbean people. No, we don't have to hate Africans or Caribbean people. What we're saying is that we're a specific group of people. But what he's turning it into this kind of like hateful rhetoric against them, and I think a lot of times ADOS and FBA get kind of conflated because it's similar in terms of the ideology, but then I think Tariq takes it to another level by saying a lot of hateful things, and I know he passes it off as a roast, but it's really, I feel like it's really his way of trying to like make it seem like we're just culturally superior than everybody else. And I'm like, nah, we don't want to turn it into no diaspora war, but we know that that's what he likes doing. I think he likes to stir up that controversy so he can feed the algorithm.
Okay. What do you think next, or how do you think the future FBA? How do you think this is going to play out?
I think that the future of FBA, I think, is destined to fall apart. I think is going to implode because because I would say that like even from the beginning of this, I guess, quote unquote movement, because he doesn't like people to call it a movement or organization or anything like that. I would say it already has fallen apart in a way because he has tried to separate ADOS from, ADOS from other Black Americans, or tried to separate Black Americans in general into these groups. And then now he pivoted into like, okay, let's just go ahead and attack all these other people. And I think it's going to implode as well as explode. That's my opinion about the future of FBA. He's going to try to pivot into something else as soon as like everything falls apart, because people are starting to see the true colors of FBA.
Guys, hit the like button and please hit that like button and links in the chat room. If you want to call in and have the conversation, you can. Have you been keeping up with his beef with James Professor Smalls?
Yeah, I've kept up with it. I did see that they were claiming that he said that he is, well, I guess the FBA movement is like the CIA or something like that. But I think James Small actually tried to clear that up and said that he didn't call FBA a CIA organization. He was just saying that it kind of operates in a way like that because the way that, Tariq is kind of moving with it, I guess. But he didn't say directly that it was a CIA type of movement or agency or anything like that. I didn't hear him say that type of thing, but I know people are kind of blowing it out of proportion and saying, oh yeah, James Small, this and that. I mean, he even decided to remove him out of the new Hidden Colors movie, I think I heard, right?
Right.
Yeah, he said he's gonna edit him out of it and then like I guess have like 3 new people.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that I think he's being very childish in that way, because I'm saying even if you disagree with somebody, I'm like, why would you want to edit them out of your film? I mean, you already produced or you already did the film, so just go ahead and just let it go through.
Yes, sir. Teddy on politics. Go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, first I'd like to say that Tariq Nasheed's a grifter. He's a grifter, and just plain and simple. The whole FBA thing, everybody knows the history of that. Where he came, he was trying to be down with ADOS, and he was doing a lot of clout chasing. So he decided to start his own thing, trying to separate the lineage from the politics and saying it's different from ADOS. And they say the same thing. They have the same ideology, the same talking points, same everything. So there is ADOS is lineage based. I don't know why he keeps saying that it's something that's politically based and it's not lineage based. It is ADOS, and they're an organization. They're an actual organization, whereas the FBA is not an organization. It's a talking point, or people that like to kind of clout chase using that acronym, which makes no sense. But yeah, he's a grifter, because look at how he's done things. He's still making money off of 1804. Did he take it off of Amazon? Did he take the DVD down? And that he wants to go in. He wants to go in on Black folks from the Caribbean, and he's talking about Haitians as well. But he's still making money off their history. Still making money off it. So he's just grifting, Black people's identity, Black America specifically, identity.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So that's the thing with that. And he's also, the whole thing was about reparations, and FBA wasn't getting anywhere with the reparations, so they needed a scapegoat. So they started using Black immigrants or people with that were from outside of America as the scapegoat, because they weren't getting anywhere with white folks. So that must be the reason why we're not getting reparations. It's because of the Black immigrants, not because white folks just not coming off the money. It's just they're not. It has to be something else. So using other Black folks as a scapegoat, like I said, he's just a grifter. And the whole thing with FBA, they're not really talking to Black folks. They're talking to white folks. They're simply saying that white folks are the audience. They're saying that we're Black Americans. We're American as you. That's it. So we should be treated the same on every level. And white folks in America are just not going to do that. So, like I said, he's just grifting, and like I said, Professor Smalls, they're taking that whole what he said out of context. He wasn't saying that FBA is CIA or whatnot. He was trying to make a point, and then other FBA people that support FBA, they went and ran with it and said that somehow Professor Smalls, who's definitely a Pan-Africanist, he's going in on FBA and somehow saying that they got CIA agents in there, they got agents in the group and all that kind of thing. They're just taken out of context. It's a bunch of nonsense and foolishness. That's what I had to say.
Hey guys, hit the like button. Let me read the super chat. Unity is strength. Thank you for $2 holla. FBA now is the manosphere in 2020. It will implode. Oh wow. Go ahead, Patrick Young.
First of all, how's the family?
Everybody's doing well. Go ahead.
Good. I listen to everybody, man. I think that there's strength in unity. I followed Tariq, Yvette Carnell, Tone from Tone Talks. I've been following everybody for a certain amount of years. And I believe at the end of the day, like they say, a broken clock can be right twice a day. So regardless of what I hear, I do like my grandmother used to say, if it's usable, you eat the flesh and you spit out the bones. When you listen to people's information and stuff like that, it's like eating fish. And so that's the approach that I take with it. But the FBA movement came out of the ADOS. Yvette Carnell was the one that first started. Her and Tone was Tone Talks, went public with it. But they were doing conferences, and Tariq was affiliated with them at that time initially, and they were doing conferences, and it was found out that they actually took the idea from this professor. I forget the name of the professor, escapes me, but they got it from him, and they didn't give him credit for it. And that's when Tariq kind of split.
Sandy Darity?
I want to say she talked about Sandy Darity a lot, but I think it was another
Crosby, Kevin Crosby.
I
Kevin
think so.
Crosby, I think.
Yeah. So they were acting like they were the ones that came up with the ADOS name, but it was actually that brother, that professor, and they didn't give him credit for it. And so people, kind of, um, took issue with that. But what I came to find out is one of the things that made me kind of stand off of it was because initially it was rumored, or some people say they have the facts, um, that they were initially funded by a white supremacist think tank by the name of the Tanton Group. Have you ever heard of the Tanton Group?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Um,
Oh, you mean like PIFA? Like, yeah, they said she was the head board of PIFA. Yeah, I've heard of that claim too. I mean, she did admit that she was a part of that movement at one point.
so the Tanton Group was a think tank that was started by a white supremacist and eugenicist by the name of Dr. John Tanton. He was a very wealthy MD, and he devoted a lot of his time and money to eugenics, to fight against immigration. He was a staunch um, anti-immigration person, and it was the Tanton Group think tank was the one that came up with the idea of Black American delineation. So that's believed to be the roots of it, where it actually came from. It's not an organic Black American thought. Now, myself personally, I listen to this stuff, and while I do think um, we are a different group of people, just as Jamaicans, and I'm married to a Jamaican. I love Jamaicans. I love Black people, period. But I do think there are some differences. I don't think that just because we're Black here in America, everything that we do, we got it from Africa. Now, I just don't believe that. Um, just take for instance, there are some similarities with the food. I'm from Georgia. My people are from Georgia and South Carolina. So Gullah red rice I do believe is related to jollof, and what's the other one? I think it's Senegal's. Is it Thibaut? You would know better than me.
Yeah, Chebjin. Yeah, Tibujin.
Yeah. So yeah, I do believe that that there are things. So my people are Gullah Geechee. My people have been in America since 1732. Um, Coming through both the ports of the slave port of Savannah, Georgia, as well as the slave port of Charleston, South Carolina. Uh, my mother's father was born on Sapelo Island. And he and all his siblings were born in Sapelo Island, and my his father was born in Beaufort, South Carolina. So I do believe there are certain things, but as far as our music is concerned, when you go back to the blues, ragtime, jazz, and come on up, I, I just don't see the connection um to make a definitive solid rock solid link and say, yeah, it comes from Africa. I just don't see it. Um but maybe that's just me. And I played saxophone in high school, and it just doesn't, I feel like if that was the case, then the blues would have sprung from more places um than just America. Why doesn't Cuba have a version of the blues, or why doesn't Senegal, or Ghana, or Nigeria, why don't those places have versions of the blues as well? Um, so I think there are things that are unique to us, but I think it would be insane to deny the that our DNA direct. Well, I can only speak for me. I know from what I can tell, my relatives and my folks, the Gullah Geechee, they're never going to tell their story without Africa. I'm sorry about that. They're never going to tell their story without Africa. Um, Africa is um, integral to who they are. How would they be able to tell the story of Igbo landing? You familiar with that story, brother? Hello? Hello?
What story?
The story of Ebo Landing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Miss
Yeah,
Savannah.
yeah. So, um, like I said, that's just the thing. But I will tell you this. This is one of the things that got me curious, and I did start. I have backed away as of late since the election, the last election, where Donald Trump went to the NABJ, the National Association of Black Journalists convention, and the way he performed there, and all of a sudden Tariq did a video on it and talking about how the NABJ didn't treat him with respect and decorum
Oh
and
yeah, I
stuff like
remember
that.
that.
And I was like, what the fuck? Who are we? Who is this? This is me, brother. You might not feel the same way.
Patrick, I gotta agree. They didn't.
Nah, they went in though. They did go
Yeah,
in.
yeah. But the thing is, you have a president on your platform, and the first thing you want to do is attack him.
Well, because he attacks other people.
But that doesn't
He
make.
does that all the time, and people excuse him.
Did he? When he but why didn't Kamala show up?
I have no idea. And
I have no idea.
don't get me wrong. I'm not a Kamala Harris fan. I'm
Me
not
neither.
the biggest Barack Obama fan.
I just think it was a wasted opportunity. That's all.
If he was going to take us serious, if I truly believed that he was going to take us seriously, maybe so. But I'm like this.
So why even invite him then?
They invited him to attack him.
That's what I'm saying. Which was stupid.
It wasn't stupid. No, I think they were right in doing in terms of asking those questions, because he said all those things. Yeah.
I think they invited him to expose him.
Yep.
But everybody knows Trump. Like expose him how? Like we know Trump. How you expose him how?
Well, maybe you and I
expose his lies.
How can I say it? People of a certain, and I hate to say it like this. Family, please don't crucify me. People of a certain level of intelligence, people that aren't afraid to do their own research. But a lot of our people are intellectually lazy. I hate to say it.
Yep.
We just go off of things. If we like somebody's probably like a Tariq. Most of Tariq, you can listen to most of the people that support Tariq. Some people don't do their own research. They hang off every word that he says.
Yep. It's like a cult.
Listen, they are the opposite side of the redneck Trump supporters.
I think he's leading FBA into the MAGA pipeline. I think that's what he's doing, or that's his goal, is to lead it to into the MAGA brand.
And there is my next point. You're heading exactly where I'm heading, because this is what happened. I noticed. What was he supposed to be doing around that time? Do you remember?
You said around the time that Trump went to the NABJ?
Yes.
Continues.
The movie.
Guys, let's listen to some of this real quick. So this is the hold on one second. Let me turn this up.
Impact of those policies, especially in Black communities. Former Presidents George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Bill Clinton have attended. Thank you. Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe Black district attorneys. You've attacked Black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking Black supporters to vote for you, why should Black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all,
See, this is the issue. Black voters trusted Joe Biden after he said, "If you don't vote for me, you ain't black." So what does this matter?
No, I didn't trust
Yeah,
him after
exactly.
that. I didn't vote for Biden.
Yeah, so I mean, what does this matter? But I know her and the blue and just about every single black person in that crowd was going to vote for Joe. Because I think this is when Joe Biden was still in the race, right? Joe Biden
No, I
was still
think
in the
that's
race.
when Kamala
No, he was
ran. I
out.
think
He was
He
out.
was
yeah,
out,
he was out at that time.
but even then, before then, Joe Biden still had the black vote, and he literally came on and said, "If you don't vote for me, you ain't black." So none of this matters.
I think it matters. I think it does matter because I think that it exposed Trump for who he really is. He's not beneficial to the black race. I mean, he's never been, and then he lied and said that he's done more for black people than other presidents, which is a bold-faced lie.
Yeah, well, you got to understand, Trump is Trump. He says that about a
So
lot of people.
y'all excuse Trump, but then when Kamala does something, then you give her more criticism.
No, Trump has always been that way. He's
I'm gonna
always
say
been
it.
that way.
I'm gonna say it like this. For
There's
me
nothing new.
personally,
There was nothing to expose.
I've
If
been
people were paying attention, they would know Trump. That's Trump. He was that in his first term. He was like that before he ran for president. He was like that. He's been like that forever.
But why should black people vote for Trump if we can see that he's not for us?
Well, see, that's my opinion is that's just kind of the one-dimensional voting patterns that black folks have. And stuff is that get past all that rhetoric and all those labels they want to put on. What are his actions? What is his actions? You know, if he's doing, he can call you all kinds of names, but if he's doing something for you, what do you care what name that he calls you?
But what is he doing for black people? Even with this current administration, he's not doing much for black people.
He's not. But neither is Biden.
600,000 jobs lost in the black community.
Well,
black women specifically. Yep.
Yeah, he's not doing anything for anybody, any black or any other color. So
that's not so.
You know,
he's doing something for rich people.
For the elites.
Yeah, for the elites. He's doing something. He's doing everything they want him to do.
Well, I'm talking about the population in general. Yeah, that's true. But I'm talking about population in general because he's hurting white folks just as much as he's hurting black folks. So
well,
but that doesn't negate the fact that he's harming black people.
Yeah.
No, he's harming everybody.
Yeah, but that doesn't justify him harming anybody. That's the whole thing. Is that like we try to excuse his behavior as if this behavior is morally right, or that it benefits all of us or something like that. As if like we should just be like, oh, it's just Trump being Trump. But had Kamala done that same thing, people would have said, oh yeah, she's this and that, or she's an Indian tether and all this stuff. Like it would have been more rhetoric. I think behind, Kamala if she would have been president. So I'm saying you wouldn't give him the same smoke. I mean, you wouldn't give him the same smoke as you would Kamala.
Yeah, I would. I would. I give him the
How
same.
so?
That's why I can't. I really don't understand how Trump supporters aren't holding him accountable for whatever they perceive as being beneficial to them, and same thing as things that are detrimental to them. Yeah, I would. Just like
usually I think that Trump supporters are more self-interested. They don't care about the collective because they care about I guess maintaining their business.
Oh Lord, did Biden and Kamala care? Do they care about a collective? Jesus, stop it.
No,
personally,
they don't. They're the same.
I'm an independent. I don't think that. I think that the black community actually needs to take a step back from the two-party system. We need to reorganize and come up with our own what do you call them? Lobbyist group. We need to start with a lobbyist group because this day and age in 2025, votes don't really move the needle for minority groups. Is money. And this is something that Dr. Claude Anderson has been talking about, and he's been telling us how to go about it. We don't need to look outside the community for plans. There are plans Dr. Claude Anderson has a plan. Dr. Amos Wilson has a plan. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has a plan. We've seen the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. If we look at, you could look at the NOI and see that as a microcosm of the Black community at large. So we have enough plans. We can just get together and collectively just choose one and be on the way of starting an economic foundation that will strong enough that will we'll be able to push for the things that we need and get those things, because that's what the Asians did. That's how they got their hate crime bill, or what was it? I think it was a hate crime bill that they got. So
Yeah,
I think
anti-hate crime.
yes. Yeah. So I think that's where we need to go. I don't think the two-party system is outdated for us, or we need to take a step back and reorganize and better our position. The civil rights era tactics, those things, I think have kind of passed us by, outrun its usefulness, and I think it's time for us to come together and collectively establish an economic base and go from there. The vote, I think, for this point in time, I think the vote is just, I won't say permanently obsolete. I just think we need to take a step back and reorganize and try something fresh.
Well, yeah, I agree completely with what you're saying, but trying to get Black folks, Black Americans anyway, on the same page with any, you can't even get us to label ourselves the same. You can't even get us, are we African American? We FBA, we this, that, no, you can't even get that. So I agree with what you're saying, and that is the route that we should be taking. But trying to get Black folks together on the same page, that's a challenge in itself.
I mean, we as long as we stay, like Killer Mike said, as long as we stay trying to battle in the two-party system, we're just going to continue to argue over who's got the better master, the Republican or the Democrat, and that's just not a place that we need to be.
Yeah, and here's another thing with the FBA and AWS. You need more Black folks in America, not less. They're trying to keep Black folks out of America. All the other groups are trying to get more of their people in there. Look at the Mexicans. Mexicans, or specifically Mexicans, but just Hispanics in general. They're trying to get more of their people, whether it's illegal or legal. They know their strength in numbers. But what do these particular organizations do? FBA and ADOS, they want to keep they want less Black people, whether they're illegal, whether they're they want to call them tethers or whatever. You need more Black people. You need larger numbers, like all the other groups. They're not trying to keep their people out.
Yeah, that's true. My wife is a Jamaican, as I said earlier, and she's with us all the step 100% of the way. That's not all. My in-laws are with the Black community because they know they wouldn't be here without the Black community. But when you have a Winston Earl Sears, Byron Donalds, it kind of makes for tough sledding.
I like Brian. What's your issue with Brian Donalds?
Bold-faced liar.
I'm gonna say, now this is one thing I believe.
What did he lie about?
He lied and said that Black people were better under Jim Crow.
Yeah, he did say that.
Well.
There's
some truth to that.
It's a bold-faced lie. I mean, so there's better when our people were lynched.
There's some truth to that.
I'm gonna say this. I think he's out of place. He doesn't share our experience, so I think he should keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, he's not a Black American. He is Panamanian and Jamaican. He's a Jamaican and a Panamanian.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Yes, he is. His lineage goes to Panama and Jamaica.
No, he was not. His parents.
He was born here, but his people are from other places.
Yeah, that's fine. But he's still a Black American. See,
he doesn't have the lineage. He does not have the lineage. He can't speak on Black American experiences in America because his people were not here for 400 years.
So hold on. So Dre, you agree with Turk Nasheed then?
But I don't agree with the FBA grift. What I agree with is precision, is specificity. That's what I agree with. I don't
you-
agree with the way that Tariq is going about it.
Being specific, Byron Donaldson is a Black American. He
He's
was
not a Black
born in
American.
America.
If you're talking about lineage, he is Panamanian and Jamaican. You can look this up.
Well, I mean, if you want to be technical, about it. And
If
see,
you're talking about race, yeah, he's Black, but he's not Black American.
He doesn't hide that, brother. He acknowledges his Jamaican heritage, his Jamaican Caribbean heritage.
Okay, that's fine.
He
But
acknowledges that.
the thing is, if you were born in America, you are a Black American. That's it.
We're talking about lineage. We're not talking about geographical, just solely geographical location. We're talking about like, did his ancestors have blood and soil in this country? That's what we're saying. You know, like when we talk about ADOS, or I guess some people say FBA, but yeah, that's what we're saying. We're not talking about in terms of the country that you were born in. No, we're talking about like how far does it go back? You know,
Well, this leads me to this point with the whole tether thing. If the tethers came from with the whole DACA thing with Obama and them, that came with them. If you were born, if your parents were, say your mother was pregnant with you and you were outside of the country and you were born in another country and she decided to move your whole family over, then you would be a tether. But if she came over here while she was pregnant and she was born and you were born in America, you are an American. You're not a tether. You're not a tether. So that's what I'm saying. They want to attribute. I've heard them say, "Well, Byron Donaldson needs to go back to his own country." What country? He's a Black American.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but I'm just saying that he doesn't have lineage here. He might have the citizenship, but he does not have the lineage or the experience of Black Americans. That's all we're saying. We can distinguish those two things.
His parents don't have the lineage. His parents don't have the experience of Black American ancestry. He does.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he
doesn't.
He's a Black American.
He doesn't have the blood.
No, it doesn't. Like I just said, his parents don't have that.
He doesn't have it. He gets his
no,
blood
because
from his,
you are
he
what
gets
your
his
parents
DNA
are.
from his parents.
You are what your parents are. So if it traces back to that, then he's not.
Yeah, that's simple biology.
Not according to nationality. You're not what your parents are. If your parents say your parents, like the one brother said, his wife is Jamaican. So her parents are Jamaican. If she was born in America, she's a Black American. Now, her parents might be Jamaican, but she's, according to nationality, not a race, not according to a race, and then nationality, you are a Black American.
Hey guys, let me pass the mic to Diallo. Go ahead, Diallo.
Yo, what's going on, man?
What's good?
Shit, chilling. I'm not willing to go to say that FBA is CIA or FBI, but I think when you were doing the intro to the show, you could have added one more thing, like that big year of return. I don't know if you mentioned that too. That was 2019, so this kind of really started moving around then, and I think they saw the interest in the continent by a lot of Black Americans. So that's always been a threat. In fact, there was a security, I think NSC security memorandum or something like that, where one of the threats was essentially the Black diaspora uniting. So I don't think that's a coincidence. And if you look at like his YouTube channel, like 75% of what Tariq Nasheed talks about now is tethers. And the thumbnails are, they're not cool. They're kind of racial stereotypes and stuff like that with Africans or Caribbeans. And he used to mostly talk about white supremacy. So now I don't listen to him as much anymore. So I don't know, but just judging by the thumbnails, it's mostly focused on Africans and Caribbeans. And at the end of the day,
he can't talk about white supremacy anymore. He done took that money.
Yep.
Yeah, that could be it. And if you look at, he's explicit that FBA isn't an organization. So you're not an organization, and theoretically, what are you going to organize? If you're trying to get reparations, what are you organizing behind to get reparations if you're not an organization?
I asked him that same question when I was on one of his Twitter spaces a while back, and he just, he didn't really have much of an answer. So I feel like it's just a nothing burger at this point. I feel like it's just there. He says it's just only a lineage, but yeah, I'm like, what are you doing to propel the effort to get reparations? All he's just doing is just having talking points. He stole ADOS talking points, and then he mixed it in with Dane Calloway talking points, and then pretty much he just made it a brand to grift off of. That's basically what it is. And he uses or exploits Black trauma, Black pain, and Black anger for profit as well. Like, that's what he does. I mean, that's all he does is just like use the people that follow him and get them in this kind of disgruntled type of emotion or mood or whatever, so that way they can attack other Black people from the diaspora.
Yeah,
Hey guys,
and
let me pass the mic to Steve. Oh, Diallo, go ahead, Diallo. Then after that, I'm gonna pass it to after you, I'm gonna pass it to Steve Jr. Go ahead, Diallo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and he doesn't, at least from the times I kind of check in, he doesn't really talk about reparations much. So it's like you're not an organization. There's no organization. So how you gonna get the reparations, right? And also, like with like a lot of the people that are in the quote unquote FBA, they came from the Black conscious community, right?
That's true. That I brought that up at the beginning of the show. That's true.
Yeah, and if you look at it, right, the Black conscious community anyway was a small amount of people. I don't even know if it was 5% of Black people in this country was a part of that, right? So and my boy was making this point to me earlier today. We were talking about it. So he's like, yo, if most Black Americans didn't believe in Black nationalism, Pan-Africanism, whatever, being pro-Black, whatever you want to call it, how can you expect a Jamaican immigrant or African immigrant to believe it if most Black Americans don't believe in it? So it's like you shooting at them when, your people don't even believe in it. The Black hospitals, the Black grocery stores, some Black colleges are, have closed. The Black banks are closing. So, it doesn't make any sense. And I believe too, like the guy, I forgot, I don't know who was just talking, but I think it plays on like a lot of these people, like they don't think for themselves. And look at the American economy. It's in a bad place. The United States in a bad place. And I also think, generally speaking, that there's a lot of division in this country. Like if you look at that white lady that got killed on the train in Charlotte, how they trying to turn into, oh, this Black guy just killed this white lady. They trying to put Black versus white, the Black Americans versus Black immigrants, Democrats versus Republicans. And it's the simple saying that divide and conquer. When you do that, like if the Black immigrants and the Black people ain't working and the Black Americans ain't working together, it's easy to keep them separated to actually get stuff done. Like somebody said, leave the Democrats and the Republicans, do something else. But they want to keep, these divisions in order to keep the status quo. So that's how I feel about it. But I think eventually is going to die out because when you're just doing a bunch of name calling, tethers and hairlines, and you smell like this, you're not going to be taken seriously. It's almost like they're playing a joke on them in front of their faces and they don't realize it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll let somebody else talk.
All right, go Steve Jr. Go ahead.
All right, thank you for having me on, Dinus. But I believe the whole FBA situation is a grift. I mean, that's what I honestly believe. And another thing, somebody said that Byron Donalds is a Black American. How would he be a Black American? Like, as far as who was the one that said that?
I did.
Who?
Yeah.
What's your name, brother?
Teddy.
Okay, Teddy. What makes you feel like he's a Black American? Like, as far as
he was born in America. He's born in New York. He's born in Brooklyn. He was born in America. He's a Black American. His nationality is Black American, African American, Black American. Any Black person born in America is a Black American. It don't make any difference where their parents came from.
It makes a difference. It makes a huge difference.
I mean, as far as nationality is concerned, if you want to do the history thing, I agree with you with that. If their parents wouldn't have the same lineage or same experience They might have had a different experience as far as slavery in the Caribbean or South America, Central America, wherever they came from. But as far as their children, their offspring being born in America, they are Black Americans. Kamala
I
Harris
mean,
is Black American.
is
That's
Black American really a lineage? I
no,
don't
it's
really
not.
see it.
It's not a lineage. It's a nationality. I think
I thought
It's a race and a nationality.
how is
it's
it a race? I don't know about
Because
a
you said
race.
black,
But,
right? Because black is
oh well,
the
yeah, I get
racial.
that part. But
Yeah, and then
I always thought of Black American as a ethnicity, right? We a cultural group of people.
yeah, it's an
I
ethnicity.
understand by like you go by census, everything else. Everybody that's born in America is Black, but when most people when they come from those countries, they tell you that they're Jamaican or they come from Nigerian, everything else. So I mean, I don't really. To me,
I
Black American has always been people who are descendants of slavery in America or people that were here. You know,
Yeah, that's another thing too. I don't see any of these third generation or second generation Black folks that were born the younger generation or those generations that were born in America, but their parents are immigrants. I don't, they might mention that their parents are Jamaican or Canadian or whatever, Bayesian or whatever, but they still are Black Americans. They identify as being Black
I
Americans.
agree with you to a
That
certain extent because by the time that happens, sorry to cut you off. By the time that
no,
happens, most of them you couldn't even distinguish them from a Black immigrant.
right, exactly. You can't.
But they still don't have the lineage.
What
Black Americans not a lineage.
yeah, that's
Jamaicans not a lineage. Haitians are not
Well,
a lineage.
well, let me say this:
right, exactly.
freedmen.
Their
They don't.
nationality.
They don't have the
They're not
freedmen
ADOS. They're not ADOS
heritage.
or well, what people call FBA. They're not that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, they're not
we
American descendants of slaves. They might be Jamaican descendants of slaves or
Yeah,
Grenadian
yeah, I could
descendants.
say, yeah, you could say that, but I mean, yeah, you could say they're American in terms of where they were born, but you can't say that they got the lineage or anything like that. So yeah, we can make that distinction. I don't have a
we
problem with that.
we are the people of Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington, Martin Luther King Jr., Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Ida B. Wells.
So I got a question.
Those are the giants with whose shoulders we stand on.
I got a question about that though, right? Like, because my thing is, like, has anybody asked them about the names? Because, like, if you take a name like, say, McCullough, right? That's an Irish name. If you see a Black person with the name McCullough, that's not a quote unquote Black American name. That's an Irish name. Like, I knew somebody that was a flight attendant, and they were working a flight to UK, and they have like an English last name, and they're a light skinned Black female. And a white guy was like, "Oh, what part of your family is from such and such in UK?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm, we come from slaves." So with the names, has anybody asked them what? Because if they don't want the African names, they damn sure can't want the slave names.
Yeah,
So
they
what?
do. Yeah, because on one of Dynas's previous show, I brought that point up as far as you're a proud Williams or you a proud Smith or do you know that name was forced upon your ancestors? That wasn't your ancestors' original name. That was a name given to you, say, like you said, like a McCormick or whatever. That like my last name is Scottish or something like that or Irish. It's like, well, okay, that was our ancestors' slave
Can
slave
I
owners.
interject? I thought most slaves chose their last name after they went free.
No, they
No,
can't.
that didn't
They
happen.
didn't choose it.
Okay.
No,
Sometimes,
they
like
took
if
on the names of who owned them.
Right.
no, but sometimes if
I
they had a
understand that,
profession,
but I mean,
like
I mean, in some situations they did, but
like
not
if
in
they were
most
like
situations.
like a blacksmith or something, or like shoemaker and those
Yeah.
kind of things, they could have chosen it. But I think a lot of them just took,
no, the reason why I said that because I read something on Ancestry that it said, most, Black people chose their last names after they went free. But I could be wrong.
what names do the Gullahs have? Like, what last names do they use? Does anybody know?
I'm not sure. Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, they got last names, but some that's common amongst them. But I'm not too sure. I'm not too familiar with them.
Okay, my family, I have Gullah Geechee heritage. So my grandfather was born. My great grandfather, who was born in Beaufort, South Carolina, his name was Benjamin Peterson. My grandfather, who was born
So
in
so hold on. Was
on,
his dad's name Peter, and he just took Peterson, or do you know about how that came about?
I would surmise because one of the enclaves on the coast is Peterson. What is it? Peterson Hammock or something like that. And they've uh whoever owned that once upon a time, I think that's where they got it from. Because
So
my grandfather was born on Sapelo Island, Georgia, which is one of the sea islands where
mm.
the Gullah Geechee dwell.
So they don't have like Sierra Leone names or anything like that.
No. Now if you go
No.
into upper South Carolina, where they have the Oyatunji African village, I think they probably have, I think they speak Yoruba and have Yoruba names.
So
Yeah,
so
but they adopted that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they adopted it. Yeah.
so has Tariq speaking on the names thing? Because I haven't heard him say anything about it. I don't know.
No, that's
No.
not part of his script. That's not part of his
Yeah.
script. He's not
Okay.
gonna speak
Can I
on
jump in real quick? Because I got some Gullah. My grandmother on my dad's side is from that Savannah area, Savannah, right down the border, Hilton Head area. If I could jump in, I just want to make 2 points. Black American is the ethnicity. American is the nationality. The whole root word of American is America. That's the nationality. Asian Americans are American. Latino Americans are American. White Americans are American. Black Americans are American. We all American, no matter where you come from. If you're born here, you're American. But Black American is specifically from those who descend from slavery in this country. That's always been the case. I don't know when it got mixed up. It seemed like in the last 10 or so years, everybody knew exactly who was black because they was saying who wasn't black. They was letting the world know they wasn't black. They was this. But suddenly everybody's real confused about who's Black American now. It ain't confusing. Black, and I get it. You took black race and American the nationality, and you put it together, and you try to throw that as that's not a nationality, brother. Just because you Black in America don't mean you Black American. Because if everybody's Black American, then who are we? Well, before ADOS and FBA and descendants of chattel slavery or whatever acronyms they came up with, then who are we if everybody's us? That's the first thing. The second thing is y'all are so stuck on Tariq that y'all are missing the forest from the trees, right? Tariq and the FBA movement is one limb in the movement is the delineation movement, right? And it didn't start with Tariq. I've said it on this channel. It didn't start with Tariq. And it didn't start with Yvette Carnell either, right?
It didn't.
From what I saw and my whole journey with this was it started with Seren Sensei. I don't know if y'all remember her, but she went viral for calling out Bruno Mars for being a culture appropriator. But she was the one that did this whole journey of asking these questions about, it's being a Black American ethnicity. Are we indigenous to the country, not the land, to the country? She went through this whole phase of transition or whatnot. This had to be around 2016 to 2018. Around 2017 to 18, that's when Yvette Carnell popped up. And the only reason she even stumbled into this delineation was because she said that, hey, look, she looked up and a lot of the data showed that we were mixed in with Africans who were doing pretty good. Which what did she call it? Masking our failures, right?
Oh yeah,
because if you take in the well-doing Africans who get these scholarships that was intended for us, or these positions that was intended for Black Americans, and you lump them in with us, then it masks the failures.
If I can interject, when you say scholarships and physicians that was intended for us, can you expand on
Quincy,
that?
not Quincy. Dinas, we didn't have this conversation, man. I talked to you a couple times about this.
For us, like what does that look like?
So it's real simple. In America, up to this point, up until the last few years, Black Americans did not delineate because we're home. We use internal shorthand language. So when we say black, we just said black. We didn't get real specific because we was talking amongst each other to each other, and we just said black, right? And when one Caribbean or one African come around, we still didn't update language. We just said black. So to us, we just kind of included everybody, right? In this new world where it's becoming the internet has kind of collapsed everybody on top of each other, right? And everybody can reach out and speak to anybody around the world. And more and more Black immigrants are coming to America. It's different now. This isn't like even this is different from even 10 years ago, right? So we can't use that umbrella language, the overarching language of Black, thinking that we're just speaking to each other. We always need to speak as if everybody's listening, because that's what's always been happening, but we was just the last ones to find out. So when we had Black scholarships, we was just talking about us, but because we lived in the world where we were just talking about us, we didn't really even peep or even scope out that other folks was coming in and getting these other Africans and Caribbeans getting these quote unquote Black scholarships. And they know the difference because, like I said on this show beforehand, there are African specific scholarships. I've seen it. It's a whole website to list them. There are Caribbean specific scholarships. I've seen them. So we know the difference, and people like to tap dance and like they don't know the difference when they say they benefit. So with that being said, ultimately what I was saying was, you all are going so hard at Tariq, right, that you all are laser focused on him that you all missing it. These young folks are on the delineation movement. So if you stop FBA, that's not going to stop the delineation movement. And what also y'all are missing is you keep ignoring the transgressions and the disrespect that comes from the diaspora. And every single time that happens, more FBA pop up. More people hop on the delineation movement. I'm telling you. So y'all can sit here and waste your breath and your keystrokes about Tariq all you want to, but say if right now today you stop Tariq in the FBA movement, that don't stop the delineation movement. It don't. And it is not stopping because the other part, like I said, y'all keep ignoring. A lot of folks keep ignoring the transgressions and the disrespect from the diaspora. And every time these young folks see how we get disrespected as Black Americans, from Caribbeans to African Americans, and we look around and nobody's defending us, that's 10 more FBAs popping up. 12 more FBAs popping up.
Can I address that for a second? What you just said about the transgressions by non African American, Black Americans. Give me an example. I hear that a lot. Give me an example that why not a personal, like you went to work and this Nigerian cussed you out or something like that. Something that we all know about, because that's a talking point of FBA and ADOS.
Okay, good. I give you one. Y'all spoke about Byron Donalds, who's not Black American. He himself, he spoke about how he's Caribbean American. I forgot what two countries.
Panama,
Byron Donalds. Right. Byron Donalds was in, I think he was in Macon, Georgia, when I'm sure y'all seen that infamous video of him being asked about reparations, and he said it on the Breakfast Club. Byron Donalds is Caribbean. They said, do he support reparations? This man said no, because his people won't get it. Right now, imagine me moving over to imagine a Black American moving to any Caribbean country, right? And they fighting for reparations against the Queen and against the Crown and the British. And a Black American opened his mouth to say, nah, no, I'm sorry, a Black American get into a position of power. He becomes a politician in one of these Caribbean countries. And then he says, you know what? I'm against it because my people, my Black Americans won't get it. Dude, we all know. Let's not play dumb. We know damn well. It wouldn't happen. And if it did, he'd be beheaded by the end of the week. Let's not play.
Hey, Quincy, I got a question for you.
He also said in that same interview that he understood the lineage or the delineation attitude or movement or whatever, the perspective. He also said that.
I don't care if you understand it if you're voting against it.
Hey, Quincy,
you can understand all you want to, but if you go vote against it, what does it matter?
He's a Republican. There's plenty of Democrats who vote against reparations as well.
Yeah,
and they black folk. Black Americans.
What's the lady who's the leader of the CBC? Cheryl. What's her name? I forgot her name, but she's over the CDC, and so it's twofold. Like Black Americans are getting hit on both sides, right?
Hey, Quincy.
So let me finish this point. I promise I'll come right back to you. Black Americans getting hit on both sides. So Republicans say, hell no, we ain't doing it. It is what it is because of X, Y, and Z, right? Mm-hmm. Democrats, what they'll do is either they'll kick the can down the road, or they'll present legislation that they know won't pass, or they'll try to just or they'll just try to muddy the waters and make it all inclusive for everybody, which the Supreme Court has already said it can't be race based. They done said it can't be race based. So at this point, if anybody brings something to the high courts that's race based, they are intentionally doing that to be shot down. So
Right.
my boy, who was saying something?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Understand that perspective.
I agree
But
with that.
like I was saying, that it's a lot of black folks, black Americans, Republicans, and Democrats who don't agree with reparations. And they
But that's internal though. That's internal. That's a family conversation. It's one thing for you and your wife, for you and your brother, you and your cousin to have a conversation and disagreement. It's another thing for me to jump in and then disagree and have motion and have impact on the outcome of y'all situation. That's two different things,
hold on.
The end result is what? What's the difference in the end result?
Hey, Quincy. So look, I just Googled it, right? So I wanted to see if black immigrants believe in reparations. And it says a majority of black immigrant Americans support reparations for the descendants of people of enslaved in the U.S., though slightly lower rate than native-born blacks.
What is that based on? What is that based on?
A 2023 survey found that 59% of foreign-born black people believe the federal government should pay reparations, compared to 77% of native-born black people.
Okay. So much respect to those 59%. Much respect.
So
I guess we got more allies.
So if more than half, right, believe in that, I mean, I wouldn't take anecdotal things, and then a lot of stuff on the internet. Like I think a lot of
is anecdotal. He's not anecdotal.
I mean, he's one guy. He's one guy. Like he's one guy.
What was that Nigerian politician who, as soon as he got in office, he wanted to get rid of Black History Month? I forgot. He ugly dude. I forgot his name, but he was up in the like Midwest or something. I can't remember where he was at, up north or somewhere. He got up there, and like I said, it's most of them have enough sense to not come out and say that stuff. But like I said, Democrats do it. They do the little sleight of hand trick where they won't come out and say they ain't against it. They'll just kind of, put a hole in your tire, let it leak slow, kind of for the most part. So, I get what you're trying to get at, man. But if we could have got it, we would have got it.
Do you believe that Black Americans should marry Black immigrants? And I ask you this because I was on a Twitter space one time, and they said, these people are crazy. They said Black Americans shouldn't marry Black immigrants. They said Black immigrants are a bigger threat to Black Americans than white people.
Yeah.
And
I disagree.
Yeah. Nah, I wouldn't go that far.
I asked him. I said, really? I said, well, show me what city Black immigrants run. Where they run the police, they're the mayor, they're the majority of the city council, they run the school district, they run the hospitals, and then show me how much worse the Black Americans in that city are versus all the other cities.
Well, the Somalis deep in Minnesota, and Nigerians are deep up in Houston, and there has been stories about the Nigerian correctional officers in the prisons. To which you got to admit, how you go come all the way from a black country to America to be a correctional officer to beat down on brothers. And we already know how the Somalians get down in Minnesota. It's all kinds of stories. It's billions
I've seen police brutality in Africa, and it's crazy. So
that's true.
So
people adapt to the system, though, right? People adapt to what the system allows.
That don't give you a pass, though. We still give you that same smoke.
We should. There's a lot of stuff that with the FBA I agree with. Like I agree.
If not more smoke, because they wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for us. So they actually deserve more smoke than anybody else. But how do you literally come over here on the backs of us and then be against us? You literally wouldn't be here if it wasn't for us.
But Chris, you got to think. Look, we're in the country with the strongest propaganda in the world. Right? This country, you got people, little girls still saying they want the white doll versus the black doll. You know what I'm saying? So I can't fault them when they've been fed this propaganda too, wherever they come from, and then they come here.
But they grown. And you know what I noticed about that approach? They grown. Like nobody gives Black American this leeway and this benefit of the doubt if we don't know X, Y, and Z or view The diaspora. No. People come down hard on Black Americans when we don't know shit about the diaspora. They come down hard on us. The whole matter of fact, the whole diaspora jump us the minute we don't know what's going on in the Congo. I mean, like, if you say something loud and ignorant, the whole diaspora would jump on us. We don't get the same leeway, but with them, it's always treating them like they're the little brother who just don't know no better. You know what I mean? But you can't play both sides. You can't be the super smart Nigerians, the real hardworking immigrants, but then also be the naive people who just don't know no better. Like, which is it?
Well,
Which is
okay.
it? You can't be
I'm
both.
pretty sure there's a
To that-
reason
to
for
that
that.
point,
But I mean,
to your point is like, why don't black folks in America know what's going on in the diaspora? Is it brothers and sisters in diaspora who are keeping them from that knowledge, or is it black folks in America who don't want to know?
Or
It's
we
the
got a lot of shit.
propaganda.
Or we got enough to deal with here. You know what I mean? We
And
don't know.
what about what they got to deal with?
No. Real talk. If you born in, y'all talking about South Carolina, right? If you in South Carolina, Gullah Geechee, right? You got all. We've been Gullah Geechee, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee. You pick it. One of them good southern countries, and you've been dealing with these white folks forever from the time you touch down, right? You ain't got time to worry about what's going on in other countries, let alone another state. You dealing with the folks right in your face that's gonna try to plant something on you, go try to frame you. Y'all probably fighting fights for your cousin who got locked up or something. I mean, black Americans got enough on their plate. Like, we can't know everything about everybody. That burden isn't put on anybody except us. We're supposed to know everything about everybody and all the history about every country, that every black country that come here. Like, dude, that just ain't realistic. We got our own shit to worry about. And to act like we supposed to know these worlds. If you want to go out there and read, I'm with you. It's a click away. I ain't mad at you, because I read too, right? Cool. Click on it. Al Jazeera, all of that stuff. Cool, right? But for the folks who don't, I mean, they trying to pinch pennies and make it happen. They're going to work every day. I mean, why would you look at them and expect them to know anything about what's going on outside of the country, let alone outside of their own county, their own city?
Let me ask you this question. Would you agree that black folks globally are in the same social economic position? Are we at the bottom globally as a race? No, globally, are we
not
at the
entirely,
bottom?
but somewhat.
No. Black Americans, I will say, we do. I won't call it privilege, because privilege would imply that we didn't work for it. But we do have a position as far as like, our bottom isn't the same bottom for others in that.
That's because you're in America, of course.
thanks to the white man.
Right.
Thanks to the white man.
I don't think to the white man, because it ain't no America without us. It ain't no America without black Americans. Y'all act like black Americans just showed up and they handed us everything. Like, we didn't invent the traffic light, the the toilet, or everything that we invented. The filament for the light bulbs. No, we put in this country too. We didn't just show up and white folks gave us this stuff. No.
Okay.
America is not America at all without black Americans.
I agree with you on that, but
I agree.
But to your point about being, black Americans' bottom is not the same as, say, South African black American or black person's bottom, but they're still at the bottom. So it seems to be, regarding the FBA and the ADOS, when black immigrants come to America, they don't want them to replace black Americans, but being at the bottom. So it's a fight to stay at the top of the bottom. You want to, if you get what I'm saying.
I wouldn't say
no, not necessarily.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I think black Americans, and I think I've said this on this show beforehand. Honestly, when it boils down to it, we just want what's owed to us, specifically for us. From the time Martin Luther King did what he did back in the mid-'60s, and from the time we made a little progress, America can't take a L, man. They always put a little gotcha in there that just throw off the whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. So once they threw in women and minorities, that messed everything up. So if I put it like this, if from 1965 up to 2025, 60 years, right? If everything that was intended for us went to us and directly to us, then I don't think that this delineation movement would be as big as it is right now, because then you would have never had Caribbeans coming in and fulfilling these EEOC spots at companies, or fulfilling these quotas at schools, or qualifying for the, it would have never happened, because we would have always got what we were supposed to get. And if they had came in and cool, hey, look, you're Caribbean or African, get your education, cool. But this little pot right here that America said was supposed to be for us, this for us, man. Much respect to you, but this ain't for you. So you can't dig in this pot when you come over here. I think if that had been established 60 years ago, I don't think we having this conversation right now if that was established 60 years ago.
What is the delineation movement? Like, what do you like? I remember a few years ago there was one of the Ivy League schools where Black Americans and Africans were fighting each other because
that was Cornell.
That was Cornell. Yeah, I'm like, who gives, go to a HBCU? Go, I fight for slots of HBCUs, but you delineate, right? So what are you saying? So the Black Americans get the jobs at these corporations, or like what is the like the end game, and how are you getting there? That's the thing I don't understand with the Tariq thing. It's like there's no organization. So where are you going with it other than just making jokes online and like you know what I'm saying? Like that's what makes it so childish, is that there's no real organization behind it. Maybe ADOS is a little more serious, but what are they doing other than having a conference once a year and writing an article or replying to people on Twitter about how great Black Americans are and how this immigrant committed this crime and they weren't a Black American? Like, where are you going?
Okay. So the way I look at it with the delineation movement, right? I look at Tariq and the FBA movement, that aspect of it, that tree of it, as like the cultural guards of the movement, right? That's how I look at it. And then you look at VET and ADOS, and they're in more the political spaces. They are making moves. Some of them look real sideways over in California, you know what I mean? But they do have their political movements, and they do show up to a lot of these town halls for reparations and all of that stuff. So it's like different arms of the delineation movement, right? And a lot of the stuff is just straight up organic. I mentioned earlier where you got people jumping on board simply because they've been told, you got, you're on campus, they got a black organization, then they got an African organization, and we go to the African organization, and they say, oh no, this ain't for you. Like that little stuff like that sparks. That's the little sparks that happen for the FBA and the delineation movement. Say what?
Yeah, where's an example of that?
Oh, hold on. Cornell. Hold on. Cornell. I'm not gonna say which HBCU I went to, but granted, because it was an HBCU, so you didn't need a black club. So I'm pretty sure this is more of a PWI thing or whatnot. But Cornell, what was the other? It was Cornell. That's the main one that always come to mind. And I don't know if it was Dartmouth or whatnot. I'm not sure who it was. But let me answer the question. Let me just paint this picture, y'all. When you ask the question about PWIs, right? Let's keep it a buck. All the money is in PWIs, right? And it's less about going to the school and it's more about making the connections, right? Because you never know. Your roommate, your classmate, they're going to be the next Mark Zuckerberg or whatever, right? So if that PWI says, hey, we need 8-10% black students, right? We need 8-10% to what's the word? To pay back for slavery. I forgot the word, but pay back for slavery. We need 8-10% of black students, right? What happens is, and what's been happening is, those black students weren't Black Americans. Even Cornell West, he made it a point one time when he was talking about, I forgot what Ivy League school, but he said, well, how many of those are actually descendants of slavery in America, right? So they make this percentage designation, right? And then when they go to fulfill it, you're filling it with African immigrants and you're fulfilling it with Caribbean immigrants, right? Now, how does that play out?
Why are they doing that? Like, why is it just the Caribbean and the African immigrants?
Because they don't push back. Because they don't push back like we do. Because let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. The diaspora. If anybody stand up against white supremacy, it's Black Americans. If anybody go stand up against some racist stuff that's been said or done, it's Black Americans. Let's be for real. When you're an immigrant that come over here, especially a Black immigrant, and you see some little sideways stuff, or somebody walk in and say the N-word, you ain't gonna respond the way we respond. You know what I mean? Let's keep it a buck.
I wouldn't say that because if you have a Nigerian that's born here and raised around black people, they're gonna respond the same way 5-10 generation black American is gonna respond.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. The Grapevine is a TV show that used to be on a show that used to be on YouTube based out of New York, right? And the Grapevine was majority Nigerians. I distinctly remember one of the black guys who went to a school, and he said one of the white guys came in like a lobby or something and said, "Hey, what time we N-words eating?" And he said out of his mouth, he didn't know whether to be mad or not. Right now, I don't know about y'all, but I knew to be mad about the N-word from white folks, damn near had to be 3rd, 4th grade. You know what I mean? I wasn't in those 21, 22 years old wondering what I should be mad about the N-word coming from a white person. So I disagree with that, and that's just one directly
but that's
from the
anecdotal though. That's anecdotal. I mean,
that's him. He said it. That's a direct example. That's not me observing. No, that's what he said. That's one direct example.
Most of them don't have that experience.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. But let me finish up what I was saying though. So when these students matriculate through college, establish their relationships, go out there in the world, and go out there to either make companies, work for companies, or whatnot. Who has not that little 8-10% was supposed to be for Black Americans, but who has those connections now to this upper class to be upwardly mobile? Who has those connections? It ain't Black Americans. And then when they get them connections, y'all turn around and beat us up with the notion that Nigerians are smarter and getting more degrees than Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Do you have the data to support it? Like how that plays out, or you just that's just what you think?
Hold on. I dated a Nigerian from Cornell, bro. Directly from Cornell in the mid 2000s, and most of her friends were Nigerian, and so this is firsthand and this is data related, dude. Look up African immigrants Ivy League school. Just Google it. You go see it, bro. I keep going to Cornell and Dartmouth. Those are the main two I go to because those are one I know offhand. But it's out there. It's out there. And the thing about it, man, when you find the information, man, don't ignore it. And then 2 months from now, we had the same conversation and say, well, is the information out there? Because we keep bringing all these receipts and posting receipts and letting people know the receipts. And then people act like they don't see the receipts. And it's like, come on, man. Like what are we doing?
I'm asking for the receipts. Now, going to your point about, these two, those are both Ivy League school, what you mentioned, Cornell and Dartmouth. Is it an American thing? Does America see all Black folks as the same, whether you're Black American or where?
No.
If they say, well, we needed Black students, is that because all the white folks don't care whether?
No, white folks do care. No, they do care.
No, white folks white folks in America see all Black folks as the same. They're not going to.
That's not true. That's not true.
No, it's not.
That's not true.
Are you from Burkina Faso, whatever? They're not going to ask you that,
dude. That's not true.
Once they hear them speak, they'll tell the difference.
Right,
dude. Dude, Muhammad Ali.
That's with anybody.
Dude, no, dude. But Muhammad Ali, back in the '60s, is on camera when he was talking about when he threw his Olympic medal in the river. He said he was trying to go to some restaurant in Oklahoma or something, and they wouldn't let him in. Some Africans go to walk in, and they let them in. And he was like, how they let the Africans in, but not me? And they said, because they ain't Negroes. And he said that's when he went and threw his Olympic medal in the river or in the lake or something. Dude, it's a myth. This whole white folks see us all the same. That's the biggest myth. And I truly believe that the diaspora wants to push that myth, because if it's actually revealed, then no. White folks, they know the difference, and they've always known the difference, and that has factored in how they treat y'all. Then that will be a knock against the diaspora. Dude, Malcolm Gladwell is a Jamaican immigrant from Canada. He went to New York. He spoke about how he got a book called Black Like Me or Black Like Us or something like that, where he spoke about that. Hell, even in New York, if you talk about the whole housing situation, they discriminated against Black Americans, but they let West Indians buy the houses in them neighborhoods. And what did West Indians do? Did they play cool and say, I got you, just come on, I'm gonna get on the backside? Nope, they didn't do that. You know what they did? They passed the baton to their fellow West Indians and the whole neighborhood. They didn't pay it forward and hook us up on the back end because the white man let it slide. So dude, that's one of the biggest myths, and I know people want to keep that alive because it'll just shatter Pan-Africanism if the world knows, and Black America, no, not the world, if Black Americans as a whole knew for a fact that white people have always known the difference, it was Pan-Africanism is done.
So Quincy, how did that work out for Amadou Diallo?
I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even tell you.
How did that work out for him? I mean, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
They didn't say.
I know the name.
He's from Africa. Let's not shoot him.
Right.
Was Sean Bell? I think was Sean Bell a Caribbean? Sean Bell might have been a Caribbean. There was another guy from Gambia that was selling tapes, I think, in New York at some time, and and even back in the 90s in New York with Yusef Hawkins and all those I forgot the other guys' names, Michael something that got killed by them white supremacists. Some of those people were probably Caribbeans. The Italians wasn't like, New York,
New York is a unique study case because New York is up until like maybe the last 20 years. New York is unlike any other place in America, in the world. You know what I'm saying? So they are stacked on top of each other and mixed up in ways that just the rest of the world or the rest of the country just ain't. Right?
You heard of Abner Louima? You remember when the cops shoved the thing up, violated them in I think it was Staten Island, that Justin Volpe, the white Italian cop? That was a Haitian.
I remember the story.
I remember the story. They're not like, this Haitian. Let's go find a Black American. Let's go to Staples and find a Black American.
I'm with you. Hey, everything you say, but that don't negate anything I'm saying. I mean, yes, it's cases where the police go wild out.
It does. Yes, it does, because if they really saw them as different, Abner Louima was minding his business. Amadou Diallo was minding his business.
Well, hold on. Nothing is absolute, for the record. Nothing is absolute. So
that's why I asked you for the data, because because kind of the way you're saying it like, oh, they like this, and the way they look at this like this. You're right. That's my whole point. Is nothing is absolute. So when you talking like that,
but it's enough for there to be a through line, though. There is a commonality, but commonality don't mean absolute.
Commonality means just what you said, commonality. So what's the commonality?
The commonality is white America has always known the difference from Black immigrants and Black Americans. They've always known the difference.
What was Philando Castile?
You said it was a commonality. The commonality between Black immigrants and Black Americans, are they Black? That's the commonality.
Yeah, race-wise, yes.
Yeah, if you're talking about racial profiling, yeah, of course, that makes sense.
Yes, race-wise, yes. But let me know. I don't know. Is that because there's a lot of the Jamaicans and the Haitians, they had a little thing, a little flag, a little emblem hanging up in their window. I mean, was that kind of a little, hey, I ain't like them niggas over there? Is that? You let me know.
Or it could be they're proud of their nationality. They're proud of where they come from.
Or it could be both.
Where Black folks in America don't know where they come from.
No. Black Americans do know where we come from. No. Black Americans do know where we come from.
Geographically, they, as far as having a geographical identity.
We do. The Black Americans
that's where the Pan-Africanists go wrong, is that they always take advantage of our perceived lostness as a people. They assume that we don't know where we come from. They assume that we are just kind of like these lost children. That's what I'm saying. They accuse us of like just kind of being these lost children that don't know where we come from. I'm like, no, we come from this country. It's just that, of course, our people were brought over from, West and Central Africa. But I'm just saying, nationality wise, we are born Americans, just like a Jamaican. A Jamaican was born in Jamaica, and all these other places. So, yeah, Trinidadian. So that's what I'm saying. Is like, I don't understand why people say that we're the only people that don't know where we come from. Like, everybody knows every Black person knows where they come from.
Right.
I agree.
A vast majority of Black Americans don't want to identify with where we come from.
Well, see, I think that's a psyop, though. I think the psyop, and this is what I kind of just kind of. I think the psyop and this, we all talk about the FBA being the CIA or whatever. I think there's been a long running game against Black Americans to kind of trick us into not staking claim what's rightfully ours. You know what I mean? I mean, even like notice how we can't even enjoy chicken and watermelon, even though we love it. But we can't even enjoy that. We know why? Because they stigmatized it. They put
Yeah.
out ads and cartoons and stuff, so we can't even enjoy food.
And they
You know what I mean?
stigmatize African booty scratchers, like and babies
Yeah.
in Africa,
I mean,
right?
you got a point. They're
You
There
know
you
what
go.
I'm saying? Right?
I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Because we're living in trees. Oh, do you sleep with lions? Like, I mean, again, that's the propaganda I talked about earlier.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
all
So I'm
propaganda.
yeah,
And
yeah.
we in the
We
propaganda
together.
headquarters.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you. I'm just saying, like Black Americans, like, and like I said, that's why I keep saying Tariq is one peg in this whole thing about the delineation movement. Is that like just in general? I'm telling you, I've seen it more and more and more over the last decade that people I haven't even expected it from claiming and being proud to be Black American. Like Black Americans always been proud to be Black, like race wise Black. But we wasn't really proud to be specifically Black American. Like Jamaicans are proud to be Jamaicans. We wasn't specifically proud to be Black American or African American, Negro,
Disagree with
Freeman,
that.
whatever. But you seeing it to this, I mean not to this day, in recent years, because like I said, because of the internet collapsed everybody. Because everybody want to wave their flags and stuff, and they want to act like we ain't, for lack of better words, like, oh no, I respect that Donis. He don't do the N word. Like we ain't them N words. Like come on, don't flex on us with no flags or flex on us about nothing, because ain't nobody doing it like we've been doing it. Nobody's more nobody doing it like we've been doing it. And I ain't even gonna say entertainment. I'm gonna just say inventions. If you flush a toilet, think of Black American. If you open a doorknob, think of Black American. If you stop at a stoplight and you alive because they didn't blow through that intersection, think of Black American. Nobody do it like we do it. You turn the light on, think of Black American.
So Black Americans should proudly be waving the same American flag that put our ancestors in slavery.
Yep.
That should be
look.
Great.
Yeah,
I mean, I know that's complex because I know that America gets this reputation of being some type of imperialist country, and I agree with that. I know that America is an imperialist type of country, but that does not mean that we are proud because of the imperialism. We're just proud because we are Americans.
Let me
I guess in terms of the American part, but not the imperialism part.
That goes to the point that he was just bringing up. Everybody's proud that they had their flags in the windows and whatnot. What flag does a Black American have?
We got three. We got
the Juneteenth flag. I mean,
right?
Yeah.
The Black American Heritage flag.
Yeah.
Right. They even just made a Solon flag. I mean, more power to the youngins, but they just made a Solon flag.
So Dre and Quincy, I got a question for y'all. So
and we got the American flag too. We got the American flag, man. That's ours.
You proud of that flag?
So matter of fact, look, I'm gonna ask
the American flag in particular, but the other ones, yeah.
So based on what y'all,
I agree with, but the American flag, you proud of that flag? Okay.
So based on what y'all say, I think it's Dre and Quincy. Do you believe that Black Americans should join the United States Armed Forces?
I think that's up to Black Americans. I mean, I can't really.
Yes.
So hold on. It's yes and no, but it goes back to are you proud of the American flag, right? So that question and the same in hand with whether you should join the forces. Like that's a Black American's relationship with America, right? And how they fall on either way, that's on them. It's kind of like having your daddy name. You know what I mean? Are you proud of your daddy name? You know what I mean? And depending on the sibling, some might say yes, some might say no. But that's their decision or whether they want to be proud of it, given the context of it. So I believe depending on the Black person.
So join the military of the country that refused to give you reparations and upheld their end of the deal. Not to mention the fact that's a very strong endorsement of U.S. foreign policy, which we know isn't necessarily the best, that actually works against real Americans. Like, I mean, you got 800 military bases across the world, yet you got homeless people all over the country. People can't afford houses. People got student loans. Black people, like you said, lost 600,000 jobs. Somebody said that earlier. So how could you join the military?
Hey, like I said, that's an individual choice, and I'm sure they got their own reasons. I mean, for me, if I ever join, I mean, I would, up until about 5 years.
Go ahead, say it.
Yeah. I haven't joined the military. I haven't.
And you wouldn't.
No. Well, I can't because I'm in my mid-40s now, so that is what it is. But
would you have?
Would I
That's
have?
what he's asking.
Looking back at it, it's a 65% chance that I would have, because they get retired with them benefits and they be set for life. So it's a 65% chance that I would. And even outside of money, hey, feel how you want to feel about it, man. Look, and I get it, I might be talking to some Pan Africans who might feel otherwise, but America is ours, and it's ours to protect. It is what it is.
So why do you own like less than 1% of the wealth?
How is it ours? How is it
How do
ours?
you-
How is it not ours?
Yeah, how is? I'll tell you how it's not ours. It wasn't built for us. It was built by
but we
us,
still here.
but it wasn't built for us.
Hold on,
So
which Caribbean country was built for them when they was in slavery? Which one?
Yeah,
None.
yeah. Which one?
None.
And they proudly protect it, and they proudly fight for it, and they proudly represent it.
Yeah, because they have their own country now.
And we got our own country too. It's our country too.
No,
Okay,
when the white folks leave America, they left Jamaica.
White folks,
They left Barbados. They left the black folks there.
Look, white folks, hey, it ain't no getting around it. White folks here, we got to deal with them. We've been fighting that fight for a long time. We're gonna be fighting it long after all of us gone. It just is what it is.
Let me ask y'all this: would y'all want your own separate land in America, like the Nation of Islam said, like some southern states? Would you be for that, or would you rather stay within the American?
I want the whole land. I want the whole land because
the whole
people
state.
built it.
Okay. I want everything from Louisiana up to North Carolina.
Do you want to kick the white people out, or you want them to stay?
I really kick them out, to be real.
Yeah, I really kicked them out.
Okay.
Yeah, give us our own little bit. Give us our own little bit. So I'm just saying, man. I know people be mad at Tariq and all of that, but real talk, all the jokes and stuff that Tariq be letting fly, people ignore that a lot of them folks been calling, especially the Somalians. It's a couple of Nigerian folks who regulars who call in. It was one like 2 nights ago who called in disrespecting Black Americans. I mean, the diaspora really do be calling in and disrespecting Black Americans.
He invites it though. That's what he wants.
Yeah,
like,
he does that. He wants the controversy.
That's for the views. That's the views. They said he trademarked it or whatever. That like all of that is. I mean, he gets paid off those views.
Everything is trademarked. Black American is trademarked. I remember I forgot the guy. Dinus had a guy on the show years ago who was with the delineation movement, and he had to go and find who trademarked Black American. He found out it was a Jewish person. I don't know if you remember that, Dinus, but I remember that show, and I remember that guy. But yeah, and that guy, he actually lived over in Africa. I forgot. I think Kenya or something.
He forgot with the Liberian wife, but yeah,
Liberian. There we go.
It was the domain. No, he actually owned the domain name Black American, a Jewish guy, that he ended up buying it.
Yeah. So I mean, everything is trademark, man. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, everything is trademark.
I like this conversation because one, nobody's been called a tether, right? And two, it's a civil. Like if they had like civil conversations like this, like it would be better. But when it's this like so much hostility with the name calling and like, oh, where you from? Like it's LA gang culture. Like, what set you from, cuz?
Yeah, they do kind of act like that though. FBA kind of act like that too. Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
look. I was on there one time and like they was asking me about background and all that and stuff, and I'm like telling them like, oh, I don't know. The numbers don't add up. It sounds like you. What country you from? You ain't really no Black American. I'm like, yo, like. It's
look, to be fair, I will say Tariq and a lot of FBAs, they are paranoid about tethers getting in the conversation and pretending to be Black Americans.
So what would you classify a tether to be, or how would you define what a tether is?
A tether is a Black immigrant coon.
Yeah, but they call anybody. There was some
anybody that disagrees with them, they call them a tether. Like because
I can't. Like I said, I can't speak for everybody because, like I said, some words get overly used. But technically, at its core, a tether is a person who pretends to be us, and then they actually undermining us. That I didn't make the word up. Tariq made it up, and that's the core definition. Of course, people go get wild and say whatever, but that's on them. But let me jump and say this though. A lot of times, look, if there is some merit to being paranoid about who's speaking when it's time to have conversations about Black American and Black American culture. Right? I mentioned earlier you had the grapevine, dude. The grapevine was part of the reason that kind of woke me up, opened my eyes about, because I'm from Georgia. You know, I'm not. I've been in New York a few times, but
What part of
I'm
Georgia
from
you from?
Georgia. So we online, man. But I'm in the A. I'm in the A right now. I say that I'm in the A right now.
Got my family from Georgia. That's why I asked. That's why.
Yeah. I'm from East Georgia in the CSRA area. I feel like that.
Americus in Dublin. That's where my family from.
Oh, boy, I knew this fine woman from Americas. Well, okay, cool. But the Grapevine, right? I remember watching the Grapevine, and it was some stuff they just said that I'm like, what? Why are they saying that? Well, I don't understand it. And at first, I chalked it up that, you know what? I'm from the South. They up in New York. Maybe it's just different up in New York, right? And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was, I think it was a Bill Cosby episode. And that's when it came out that actually all them Nigerians, like they second gen, like they didn't grow, they didn't grow up in our culture like that. They didn't grow up in the house, the culture in the house like that. It's just, that's when it started clicking. So to me, that the whole idea of when we having these conversations, you have people talking and they might sway the audience or whatnot. But it is important to know what informs their opinion and their background. I was listening to y'all remember a week or two ago, Elon exposed all them folks on Twitter who pretended to be from America, but it was from like overseas somewhere.
Yeah, the locations. They put
Right,
the locations
right.
on Twitter.
I remember that.
Right. And I was listening to these two hip hop guys because the angle that they took, they was talking about how the hip hop blogs was really ran by foreigners. One of the black guys, he was really emphatic about, oh, I don't like how it's turning into xenophobia. I don't want people to four-wall hip hop and act like it's only for us in America. I'm like, why are you talking like that? And they come to find out, he said, I got family over in Nigeria. I was like, oh, so you're Nigerian then? So you're a Nigerian who don't want to put hard guardrails up around hip hop and Black American culture because that would exclude you. You know what I mean? So it's little stuff like that when people jump in these conversations and you hear them saying stuff and it just don't sound right. And then they kind of find out, oh, that's why. So there is some merit to why people, I ain't gonna say should be super paranoid, but it's okay to ask questions like, hey man, where you from, man? Because before we start talking, where you from again?
But sometimes it comes across as like a purity test, like they're trying to do that lineage shaming or something like that, and I don't want it to turn into no lineage shaming, but I understand the paranoia or the fear that like, oh, they're trying to come against FBA, but I feel like a lot of times when you disagree with Tariq on certain things, he will automatically call you a tether. So it's like, it's like he doesn't want to have healthy discourse when we talk about like the things that you might find wrong with FBA. Like if you say, okay, I'm of the lineage, but I do disagree with this, he doesn't open up the space for that. Most of the time it's like, oh yeah, where are you from? Oh yeah, you're not a Black American, you're not FBA. You're a tether. It's like they say that quickly, because I was on one of his Twitter spaces a while back, I think not too long ago. And when I questioned him about certain things, he basically kind of insinuated that I was a tether, and I said, no, my people have been here. I can prove that, but he's like, oh yeah,
I can smell the Bambi.
Now look, I'm 102% with you, because I wanted to call Lynn to give him that critique. Like he's missing a lot of conversations because I think he forgot or forgets how much Pan-Africanism has been instilled in Black Americans, to where, hey, even though the delineation movement going on, you still got a lot of us that still riding with the brother, the perceived camaraderie and brother and sisterhood of the diaspora.
Why do you say it's perceived? Why do you believe it's a perception? It's not real. Why do you believe
so okay, because
it's completely real.
No, but okay, I feel like this, because Africans and Caribbeans, it's kind of like it's like exploiting a loophole, right? They've been exploiting a loophole that we were blind to. So Black Americans say, hey, we all Black, come on through, whatever. Yeah, you might have a weird, your name ain't like mine, but we got weird names too. Come on through, Black Americans don't really jump out there and per se separate ourselves to a certain, not like that, right? But what they would do, what we've seen, I mentioned it in schools, I mentioned it with scholarships. Hell, they even have professional networks in Atlanta where it's not primarily, it's a Nigerian professional network, right? But the thing is that you better believe they're not, if they get these positions, not saying they're not getting because they're smart and they're not qualified. I'm not saying that. But them being black also does play into whether or not they get those positions, right? And I mentioned it beforehand. A company need whatever percentage of black people, boom, they bring them in, right? So if you get these positions and then you turn around and you join these professional networks that's specifically about your Igbo tribe or whatnot, and you're only passing the handoff or the help to pull a person up. That's only going to folks that's Nigerian or whatever tribe that you are. To me, that's when you lose me. That's when it's like, nah, you kind of playing both sides of the fence. Because I dated a Caribbean chick for like 5 years, right? And this before I even knew anything about like the diaspora. Like I knew she was Jamaican, but in my mind, Jamaica was just like another state. I didn't even really, give it much thought. She's just a black girl from Jamaica, no more, no less, right? And I know for a fact she got all kind of black scholarships or whatnot. And looking back, she did get Jamaicans. It was 2 Jamaican scholarships she got, right? So if Caribbeans and Africans know the difference, if they know, hey, I could go over here and get this, we could go to this little well over here that's really supposed to be for them, but because they don't really say nothing, I could go over there and get it. But also, what I can do is I got this on my own well that's only for me, right? Dude, it's like double dipping, and I feel like the diaspora, particularly those who come to America, they've been double dipping and playing both sides of the fence when they want to. When they want to double dip and when they want to delineate, they've been doing it on their own terms, and we've all been kind of like, all right, cool. I guess you black, so we ain't been thinking. We ain't thought nothing of it. It is what it is. You black. We thought nothing of it, right? But then you look up one day, and you're like, hold on. So you mean to tell me, if I got a kid who's straight black American, and it's one scholarship, he got to compete with the whole diaspora, but only Jamaicans get Jamaican scholarships. Only Trinidadians get Trinidadian scholarships. Only Nigerians get Nigerian.
But you can make
when
your
it
own
comes to Black American
though.
scholarship,
Nothing is like I got a scholarship one time. It was a scholarship for somebody specifically from my school. You have scholarships for people specifically from a certain state, or specifically for women. So if Black Americans want to make their own scholarship, they can do that too. Nothing's stopping them from doing it.
No. But you're missing my point, though. You're missing my point. What I'm saying is nothing is stopping them if you know to make your own scholarships. We was on the We All Black train. Right, so we just figured it was all good because everybody go do the same thing that we do. Right, that's how we operated. We all black, so everybody come on in. As long as you're black, you get a ticket to the cookout. You get a ticket to whatever.
But Quincy, here's the thing. Hold on, right quick, Quincy. Here's the thing. That scholarship might go to somebody like Cory Booker. So. Hey,
look, if you're Black American,
you ain't guaranteed to get a Khalid Abdul Muhammad to get the scholarship.
That is true,
and the Nigerian or the Jamaican might be the Khalid Abdul Muhammad. So
you're talking about philosophy. I'm saying that the diaspora specifically made ethnic-based scholarships, right? Whereas we didn't. Now, if you're saying, hey, now we could do that right now, it's gonna happen. It's damn sure gonna start happening because people's eyes are getting open to just the world and the diaspora in general. So it's damn sure gonna happen. But I'm speaking to what was happening prior to. When we was the ones on the We All Black, and they was like, yeah, we all black on one hand, and on another hand, yeah, they got this Jamaican American scholarship. You know what I mean? So
are you saying that Black Americans don't go anywhere else and do the exact same thing?
Nothing is absolute. But I would say
I'm just asking.
Nothing is absolute. But I would want you to show me where a Black American went to any Caribbean or African country and they qualified for the specific scholarships that's supposed to go to the people in that country.
I'm talking about
that's the apples to apples.
No, it's not because
if you're saying that going back to further what you were saying and what you were saying about Nigerians lifting other Nigerians up, basically, and they're in these environments. They lifted other people up. They lift other Nigerians up. or they only associate with other Nigerians? You're saying that Black Americans don't go nowhere else and do the same thing?
I'm asking
I know
you.
for a fact they do.
Hold on. I'm
I know for a
saying
fact
show
that they
me
do.
where Black Americans in the mass move to. I'm gonna say give me
It don't
50,000
have to
Black
be me.
Americans.
It could be
50,000 Black
enough.
Americans. Like, I could run down 50,000 Nigerians in a couple states in this country. You know what I mean? Where they came over here and they came up, especially Atlanta. Come on, bro. Especially Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like everything any Black person got in Atlanta is because of Black Americans. You know what I mean? So how you gonna come over here to Atlanta, get something, and you only gonna hand it? You only gonna pay it forward to other Nigerians? Like, come on, bro. You're very defensive, but you gotta admit that is problematic, and that is a chink in the armor of Pan-Africanism. Like those groups shouldn't even exist. If we all Black, and you know for a fact that what you are, you got it because on the backs of Black Americans, then you shouldn't turn around and put stipulations on when you pay it forward. You know what I mean? Because you didn't. It was no stipulations when you got it outside of being Black. So you just should pay it forward with the same criteria that you got it. That should be the same criteria that you pay it forward in. And so come on.
I agree with that because I do feel like there's an expectation of us being more inclusive versus other people of the diaspora. I feel like a lot of times, because even within Africa, you know, there are differences. So you know, the fact that like we have to always be the one to carry everybody else, I feel like it does put more of the burden on us to be Pan-Africanist versus everybody else. Because when Africans in general or other Black immigrants in general come here, they're not coming here to be in solidarity with us. They're coming here to succeed,
make money.
Hey guys, guys, we're gonna go ahead and close out. Hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. That is a mere search for Huru. Peace.
Danful offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danful, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danful, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danful, Africa. To learn more, visit danful.africa.